Welcome to Candela Physics Academy. Now we are going to discuss about Piaget's cognitive theory based sample questions and answers. First question: fitting new information into existing schemas is known as option A, equilibration, option B, assimilation, option C, organization, and option D, accommodation. Find out the answer. Question number 2. Piaget proposed that pre-operational children are unable to conceive. He attributed this inability to which one of the following factors? Option A, inability of hypothetic deductive reasoning. Option B, personal fable. Option C, irreversibility of thought. Option D, lack of high-level abstract reasoning. Answer option C. Then next question: 4 distinct stages of children's intellectual development are identified by option A, B.F. Skinner, option B, Jean Piaget, option C, Kohlberg, option D, Erik Erikson. Answer option B, Jean Piaget. Question number 4. The stage in which a child begins to think logically about objects and events is known as option A, pre-operational stage, concrete operational stage, sensory motor stage, formal operational stage. Answer concrete operational stage. Question number 5. According to Piaget's stage of cognitive development, the sensory motor stage is associated with option A, imitation, memory, and mental representation. Option B, ability to solve problem in logical fashion. Option C, ability to interpret and analyze option. Option D, concerns about social issues. So the correct answer is option A, imitation, memory, and mental representation. Then question number 6. According to Piaget's cognitive theory of learning, the process by which the cognitive structure is modified is called option A, assimilation, option B, schema, option C, perception, option D, accommodation. And then the answer. Then question number 7. An important characteristics of formal operational stage of mental development is option A, abstract thinking, concrete thinking, social thinking, egocentric behavior. Answer option A, abstract thinking. Which of the following implications can't be derived from Piaget's theory of cognitive development? Sensitivity to children's readiness to learn, acceptance of individual differences. Option C, discovery learning. Option D, need of verbal teaching. So the answer is need of verbal teaching. Question number 9. Retrieving hidden objects is an evidence that infants have begun to master which of the following cognitive functions? Option A, intentional behavior. Option B, object permanence. Option C, problem solving. Option D, experimentation. So the answer is experimentation. Question number 10. According to Piaget theory, which one out of the following will not influence one's cognitive development? Option A, social experience. Option B, maturation. Option C, activity. Option D, language. So answer option A, social experience. Question number 11. Which has given the principles of the formal formation and investigation? Option A, Kohlberg. Option B, Piaget. Option C, Skinner. Option D, Vygotsky. So the answer is option B, Piaget. Question number 12. The child uses his understanding about the world. Who said? Freud, Kohlberg, Piaget, Skinner. Answer Piaget. How many words a child speaks in 2 years? Option A, 200 to 300. Option B, 300 to 400. Option C, 300 to 400. Option D, 2 to 3. Answer 200 to 300. Question number 14. According to Piaget, in which stage Child think logically about abstract concepts. Option A, sensory motor stage, concrete operational stage, formal operational stage, pre-operational stage. So the answer is formal operational stage. Question number 15. The period of the pre-operational stage. Option A, 0 to 2 years. Option B, 2 to 7 years. Option C, 7 to 11 years. Option D, 11 to 15 years. The answer, 2 to 7 years. Question number 16. The time period of sensory motor stage. Find out the answer yourself. Then question number 17. Hypothesis, deductive, reasoning, social norms, development in child in which stage? Option A, pre-operational stage, formal operational stage, concrete operational stage, sensory operational stage. So the answer is formal operational stage. Principle of Piaget is known as a cognitive principle, stage principle, moral principle, motivational principle. The answer is stage principle. Question number 19. Piaget principle of behavior is related to which aspects? Option A, moral. Option B, emotional. Option C, cognitive. And option D, active. So the answer is cognitive. Once again. Piaget's principle of behavior is related to which aspects? Moral and emotional, cognitive and active. So answer is cognitive. How many stages in Piaget's theory? Option A 2, option B 6, option C 4, option D 8. So the answer is option C. Question number 21. Dash is the proponent of constructivism framework. Option A, Bandura. Option B, Brunner. Option C, Piaget. Option C, Jung. Okay, one more. Option A, Bandura. Option B, Brunner. Option C, Piaget. Option C, Jung. So the answer is option C. Question number 22. Piaget's pointedly called the approach to child development as. Piaget's pointedly called the approach to child development as. Option A, environmentally evolutionary. Option B, psychodynamic. Option C, biology. Option D, genetic epistemology. Piaget's pointedly called the approach to child development as. Option A, evolutionary. Option B, psychodynamic. Option C, biology. Option D, genetic epistemology. Answer, genetic epistemology. Then 22. The upper part of a body develops earlier than the lower part is termed. Option A, proximatistal. Option B, cephalocaudal. Option C, development. Option D, upper part development. Proximatisal, cephalocaudal, development, upper part development. Answer, option B, cephalocaudal. If Piaget was grading an exam you attend, he would most invested in. Option A, whether you have written your answers correctly. What's your opinion about exam is how you derived your answer, whether you studied well before exam. Option C, how you derived your answer. It is the correct answer. 25. In the cognitive development which has great correction. Parents, play, C, language. Option D, interest. Answer, option C, interest. Then question number 26. Cognitive development depends on investigation, not an imitation. Who said? Cognitive developments depends on investigation, not on imitation. Who said? Answer, Piaget. Okay, there are 26 questions related to Piaget's theory of cognitive development. Study it very well. Okay, thank you very much.